Hey guys, so we have some very intense and powerful energy that is playing out via our astrology today. We have a T-square and cardinal signs that is setting up between both luminaries, the light, the sun, and the moon, and also Pluto, Lord of the Underworld. This to me is sort of a configuration indicating some type of spiritual battle, spiritual warfare that is ongoing today. Battle between sort of the light and the darkness, within us and collectively universally and on our world stage as well. Some really serious interpersonal dynamics, power struggles might be playing out today. We may find ourselves in a situation where we really have to stand our ground or stand up for ourselves for one way or another. And this is some really great energy for really getting in touch with our own personal truth and anything that needs to be changed or fixed within us. This energy is really pushing for some major, sweeping fundamental changes, transformations, and repairs to be made to some deep things that have been going on within us. We got a lot to talk about today in terms of the energy that is playing out, you guys. Also, we have some shifts that have gone on energetically, vibrationally, planets changing signs over the past couple days. We got a lot to get into. So let's jump into the report, talk about all of this business we have going on, and see how it may be affecting us and playing out for us throughout the course of today and moving through this week. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Wednesday, July 20th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. If you guys stick with me until the end of the report, I'm also going to be talking about some tarot cards that came out in correspondence to our astrology today, just so that we can get a better, more well-rounded overview of what's playing out from a few different modalities on sort of the energetic plane of things. But today, we are starting, of course, with the astrology, and so let's get into it. I want to apologize, you guys. I'm sorry I've been sort of MIA the past couple of days. This astrology is also hitting me as well. I'm definitely not immune to it, and I've just had some things that I've needed to sort of divert my focus and energy to over the past couple days, and I'm gonna do my best to be here for you guys and present as much as possible over the next couple weeks. But I have to say, with all of this Uranus energy, with all of this stuff that is going on and this radical shift, radical change, expect the unexpected energy, I just never know exactly what is gonna happen. So I'm gonna do my best to be here for you guys, reporting on the astrology. But if you miss me for a day, no worries. I'm just having to handle something that is requiring my full attention. So that being said, let's talk about the astrology. Gosh, it has been quite a past few days. I don't know if you guys can relate to me with that, but yeah, it's definitely been pretty palpable in the atmosphere. I feel like this Uranus North Node conjunction that is building, that is present right now, building up to this until July 31st, August 1st, when this will come exact, also in the conjunction to Mars. It is a lot, you guys, and we also have some very, very intense Pluto energy going on right now as well, carrying us through. This has also been building throughout the course of the week. I missed Monday, I missed Tuesday. Just to recap on this energy, on Monday, we had Venus shifting, moving signs into Cancer. This is definitely creating an energetic vibrational shift in terms of what we're really wanting and desiring, perhaps, at this point in time. Venus in the sign of Cancer, really sort of like the warm and fuzzy feels, really wanting to be close to friends and family and community, and to feel nurtured and cared for and supported and safe, and just really a much more loving and affectionate and empathetic, caring, emotional type of energy that we might be wrapped up in over this next few weeks while Venus is transiting Cancer. Maybe perhaps a desire to beautify our home or our family environment, or to just spend some time enjoying those aspects of our life, just the home and the family dimensions of things. When Venus is in the sign of Cancer, she really enjoys that type of stuff. And so all of us collectively might be finding ourselves more geared or oriented towards that type of stuff over this next couple weeks while Venus is transiting the sign of Cancer. That's also putting her in the sign where the black moon is, and that's also putting her the sign opposition to Pluto. So it could simultaneously be kicking up some of these black moon issues as well when we have Venus coming into the conjunction with the black moon, but we'll be talking more about that as this Venus grows closer into this conjunction. But anyways, that's just the general vibe shift that we may be dealing with, have Venus having moved into the sign of Cancer. Also, we had Mercury yesterday move into the sign of Leo. This is another like palpable energetic shift that we're probably feeling. Mercury, our mind, moving out of the sign of Cancer, where we may have been mentally more geared towards what is going on with our home and our family and stuff like that, these Cancer themes. Mercury moving into the sign of Leo. This is definitely just generally a more fun loving energy, very creative, very inspired, very like passionate, also loyal, strong, courageous, and also can be a bit hot-headed. We're talking about Mercury ruling the mind, the thoughts, our what's going on inside of our head, our cognition, and also the sign of Leo. This is fixed fire. Like this is a very passionate, inspired, fiery, heated energy type of sign. It's ruled by the sun, who is in opposition to Pluto today. So actually, the sun began its opposition to Pluto yesterday on the 19th. The 19th was a pretty significant day. Happy birthday, Becca. I'm sorry I missed your birthday video yesterday, but my best friend's birthday is on the 19th. So happy birthday to you. And we had Mercury move into the sign of Leo, and we also had this exact opposition between the sun and Pluto set up yesterday, began yesterday, carried through the night, and we're waking up again in this energy today. And so again, I'm talking about this opposition. Well, I'm going to be getting into talking about this opposition between the sun and Pluto, Cancer, Capricorn, but today may actually probably be the more intense day of this opposition because we're also having the moon setting up in a T-square, squaring both Pluto and the sun. So that is some pretty big, that is really like intensifying this Pluto-Sun opposition that we have going on. But that started yesterday with Mercury's transition into the sign of Leo, which again is interesting because Leo is ruled by the sun. And as Mercury is moving into Leo, we have the sun in an exact opposition with Pluto. So, this Mercury Leo cycle, as Mercury is transiting through the sign of Leo, this whole thing may really be showing us what has been going on under the surface of things, as the transit that was in effect in terms of the sun ruling Leo for Mercury's entrance into Leo was this opposition with Pluto, which is really doing a lot of that too. And so now that being said, sort of catching us up on this past couple days, Venus moving into Cancer, creating this energetic shift, Mercury moving into Leo, creating this energetic shift in the context also of the opposition between the sun and Pluto. Let's now begin talking specifically about the sun and Pluto. And there's a lot to say about this. First of all, like I said in my intro, I am sort of reading this energy present today is sort of like a spiritual battle that is going on, a battle versus like the light and the darkness happening internally within us as we are conquering our own demons and overcoming our lower selves. And we are seeing and we are, having an opportunity to really have exposed to us the things within us that may have been pulling us back into the realms of our own darkness in a lot of ways. Both luminaries, both of the planets that give us our light are forming this aspect today with the Lord of the Underworld, the sun in the sign of Cancer, forming the exact opposition to Pluto in Capricorn, and the moon in the sign of Aries, forming the exact square to both of them simultaneously. This is a very intense aspect. I mean, T-squares in and of themselves, this is three planets that two are in an opposition and one is making a square to both of them, setting up this like T dynamic that we have going on. And of course, in this case, it would be the sun and Pluto in the opposition and the moon forming the square to both of these planets. But these are inherently like tense aspects that bring things to a head, that bring a level of confrontation and conflict, but it's for the purpose of breaking through and evolving into something, creating some type of resolution eventually. But they definitely can bring some more difficulty in these the planets that we're dealing with. Pluto being like the primary planet aside from the luminaries, this is really telling us that whatever we are breaking through today or whatever is coming to a head has a lot to do with some darkness that we've been facing or that we've been dealing with, either in terms of our own feelings or our own emotions, or in terms of, some battles that we are fighting externally and in the world around us. And this is happening in cardinal signs: Aries, Capricorn, Cancer. The cardinal signs, this is about action. This is about action taking place. So something is happening. Something is setting up to help us overcome something or to break through something or to break down some type of barrier, to stand up for ourselves in some type of way that is helping us to like overcome our fears or overcome our past limitations, or really like shine light into darkness that is helping us to make some type of like major fundamental repair to something, or change or transformation. Pluto is the planet that rules like death and rebirth and transformation and alchemization, like on the most fundamental deep levels. And this is in terms of both like our soul, the moon, our emotions, and also like our spirit, like our conscious experience. And, you know, what we need to like grow and thrive in this reality is probably going to be exposed to us in one way or another as we go through this energy. So let's talk specifics. Let's talk basics of the sun opposing Pluto transit. Now, this happens once a year, one day a year, every year. The sun is going to come into the exact opposition with Pluto, and today happens to be the day. Like I said, it started yesterday, but today is the day today, and it's happening. What is intensifying it even more is the fact that we also have the moon making this aspect as well. And another thing, before I get specifically into talking about this aspect though, I do want to talk about the Sabian symbol where the sun is today for this specific opposition that we have going on, because I feel like this is also sort of giving us a symbolic indication of what this is doing, where this is going, aside from the planets and the signs that we're talking about as well. And this is happening, of course, Pluto is at 28 degrees of Capricorn right now, the degree of the United States natal Pluto return. So this is already a very revolutionary degree, revolutionary energy that is present, with Pluto specifically being at this exact degree. However, when we add into it the opposition from the sun at 28 degrees of Cancer, that Sabian symbol is an Indian girl introduces her college boyfriend to the assembled tribe. And so I feel like, aside from Pluto being in the sign of Capricorn right now, ruling long-standing orders of power and control, establishments, government, leadership, authority, and also being at that specific Pluto natal return degree, talking about this revolutionary energy coming through, this specific Sabian symbol, I feel like is also about breaking free and like going against past norms, going against tradition, going against like long-standing orders or ways that things have been done, or authority in one way or another, doing something in like a radically new way, long-standing breaks from the ways of the past that have been withstanding for long periods of time, and definitely talking about like a change in guard in one way or another, like some type of personal paradigm shift being indicated by Pluto, first of all, death, rebirth, regeneration, the Phoenix rising energy at the specific degree 28 Capricorn, the United States natal Pluto return, breaking down the matrices of long established power and control dynamics. And the specific Sabian symbol of the sun, an Indian girl introduces her college boyfriend to the assembled tribe, also talking about sort of like bringing in a new paradigm of experience, doing things in a new way, breaking from tradition, breaking from the past ways. And so I feel like this is all significant, and that's generally what is going on, and that is what ultimately all of this is boiling down to. Now, let's talk specifically about the sun in the opposition to Pluto. First of all, very intense encounters with others that reveal things to us that maybe we hadn't realized, or maybe we hadn't understood previously or in the past. Any type of maybe like illusion that maybe we have been operating under is likely to be dispelled or exposed in this energy. We also, aside from the sun forming the exact opposition to Pluto, because of the sun's placement in Capricorn, it is also forming a trine to Neptune at this point in time, which I also feel like is helping us to gain some type of clarity over any type of an illusion maybe that we have been operating under. Power struggles, like I said, especially in regards to like authority figures or people who have power over us, forcing us to stand up for our position, to stand up for what we believe in, to stand up for ourselves. But we want to make sure that we're doing it in a way that is not like too domineering or like overpowering in this energy, because that also can create like some really just forceful resistance to whatever we're trying to accomplish. So this sun opposition Pluto energy, we may really find ourselves in a situation where we are having to stand our ground, having to stand up for ourselves, having to really like face something down, or have like a really difficult face-to-face conversation or confrontation, but it's also important that, you know, whatever we are having to assert, whatever power we are having to assert in this energy, that we are not being, like I said, like over domineering or overly aggressive or anything like that, because we don't want to actually like create extra resistance because of our own need to like defend ourselves. So just a little thing to keep in mind in this energy. But breakdowns with others causing us to have to face the other person directly. Again, these face-to-face confrontations, very likely in order to get some type of like difficulty or some type of issue or some type of conflict like out in the open. This is about like sort of putting all the cards on the table and being able to like call a spade and then figure out how to go forward from there. Only in this energy, in this Pluto Sun oppositional energy, only by like really thoroughly airing our grievances, like saying what's on our mind, saying our true feelings, and making everything clear and everything known, are we sort of able to overcome these intense interpersonal conflicts that may be playing out, or these power struggles that we're up against. And, you know, if we can do that though, if we can lay all the cards out on the table and, you know, call that spade a spade and say how we're really feeling and say what's really been bothering us, this is also energy, because of the regenerative component of the Pluto energy, that really can create sort of like a fresh beginning in these relationships, like sort of a brand new start based on this clear or cleaned, like wiping the slate clean type of perspective or just situation that can happen, that can actually lead to, like I said, like a new beginning or some positive changes, positive results. But it's really important to sort of get everything out and clear the air in this energy. Also, this is prime energy, Pluto opposing the sun, for breakdowns and things generally, like relationships, objects, machinery, that sort of makes us stop in our tracks and like fix it for one reason or another. Things that haven't been working in various aspects of our life, maybe that we've been sort of like putting a band-aid on or trying to like patch over and try not to worry about. Like, this is the energy where, you know, we kind of have to go in for those root level repairs, like getting to the bottom of it, figuring out what the real issue is, and making the like fundamental actual repair, instead of just trying to like accommodate or create like a solution to a symptom. Like, we are not alleviating symptoms in this energy, like we are solving the root problems. This is really strong energy that really compels us a lot of times to just really need to fix things from sort of the ground up, fixed completely. And usually in this energy, they are fixed completely and they can have a brand new fresh start as a result of that. This energy on the positive side though, it really does empower us to make some very like sweeping, broad, expansive, like fundamental changes from things, again, from this ground level up that maybe we just didn't feel empowered to make before. Again, this energy does empower us to sort of stand up for ourselves or to make some really significant transformations or changes. But we do want to make sure that whatever changes we are making, that are not, they're not like selfish. They're not like specifically only in our best interest. With this Pluto energy that is working, and both luminaries as well, also the sign of Cancer, and we're talking about the moon, like ruling sort of everybody's feelings in the collective as well. It's important that the changes that we are making in this energy are for the greater good of all. They need to be, you know, more so for the overall good, and that will really help us to sort of be able to get a more positive use out of the energy that we have playing out right now. Also, this is really good energy where we sort of want to be open and receptive to the help of others, because with Pluto in opposition to the sun, if we're trying to really sort of like go at things alone in this energy, just because of the opposition as it's playing out, we may encounter some really like just strong resistance that we can't handle on our own, that is more than we can handle. Some like fierce opposition or something like that, that is just like overwhelming or more than we can handle on our own. But if we are working with other people to sort of make these changes or fix these issues, we'll have a much greater likelihood of success in this energy. And last thing that I really want to say about the sun in opposition to Pluto is this is energy where we really want to be safe. Like, we don't want to put ourselves in dangerous places, dangerous situations or circumstances around, you know, dangerous people, or generally put ourselves in situations that allow us to be vulnerable in any type of a way or another, just because we can become vulnerable to sort of the more maniacal tendencies of other people that are operating out of lower octaves of this energy when we have this energy playing out. Because again, we're talking about Pluto. This can be a very powerful and dominant and sometimes even like violent planet. So we want to make sure that we are just putting like, you know, caring for ourselves and not creating situations that can allow us to be vulnerable in this energy, because, you know, it can be weird. Like sometimes it can just create a more negative experience that is sort of unnecessary. So we have that. And now let's talk about, you guys, the square from the moon to Pluto. That's the sun in opposition to Pluto. Now let's talk about the square that we have going on from the moon to Pluto. Both luminaries facing off with the Lord of the Underworld today. Like we are having an opportunity to fix some things that have been going on deep within us that have been perhaps holding us out of our own truth or keeping us from coming into a place where we can move forward in a direction that is really going to lead us into a life that is more in alignment with what can bring us our true fulfillment. As we are moving forward, you guys, I haven't mentioned it yet in this video, but into the age of Aquarius in this 222 year that is really trying to return us to our authenticity, activate our destiny, help us rise into our higher selves, and really become more active co-creators with God and universe moving forward. And, you know, this is a pretty fundamental part of it today. Again, also, I didn't mention in the beginning, but it is the 20th of July, 2022. So we do have, you know, 222 in the numerology again today as these aspects are setting up. So today may be a bit of a more significant day in this energetic shift that is ongoing into the age of Aquarius. But Moon and Aries squaring Pluto and Capricorn. First of all, the Moon and square to Pluto, this can bring up some like compulsive drives, like some very compulsive behavior that may create a tendency to cause us to perhaps want to give in to some impulses or some urges that may not be in our best interest. Like this is sort of can have an ability to like break our willpower sometimes in one way or another, or like any type of addiction or like something that we have been trying to break away from or break free from that is just not in our best interest. Like we may have a tendency to like be compelled to sort of fall back into in this energy. So we want to really watch out for that. It is very important in this energy also that we are dealing with our feelings honestly. And, you know, we have some assistance with this because we are dealing with the sun in opposition to Pluto also, which is really helping us to gain an awareness of some root issues. But with the moon in square, we need to be able to be honest with ourselves about these issues, because if this is the type of thing where we are rejecting what is being shown to us because we don't want to face it within ourselves, then there is a tendency in this energy to really create some very ugly projections and negative behavior in the world, because we are likely to be sort of like acting out or projecting onto others or seeing in others what we don't want to see in ourselves. And that generally can have a tendency to create some negative experiences in our lives. So we really want to be careful with that. And we really want to be willing to face perhaps the ugly truths about ourselves today, because this is energy that can really help us transcend, overcome, and heal some of those very things that we may not want to look at. So it's like, instead of hiding from them, instead of not wanting to look at them, this is the energy where we can actually heal and release them. So they're no longer a part of us, not just a hidden part of us that is subconsciously controlling a lot of us because of, you know, what we don't see and what we don't pay attention to. What we ignore a lot of times has a lot more power over us than we can understand or give credit to from like a conscious place of realization. So we really want to be aware of that as this energy is playing out today. We do not want to hide from our emotions, and any of this ugliness that we may be recognizing within ourselves, we need to embrace, we need to accept, and we need to find ways to overcome, alleviate, release, transcend, move on from, grow through, heal, instead of projecting it out and seeing those type of things in others and sort of creating chaos in our interpersonal relationships in our lives, because that is definitely something that could go on today in this energy if we're not being conscious and careful of stuff like that. On the positive side, this energy does have some very positive potential to it, and that is in alignment with the sun in opposition to Pluto as well. It allows us this deep internal insight into what we really want in any given situation. Like, it gives us an idea to like really get in touch with these deeper aspects of our own psyche and what we truly desire. Like, as we're going through this energy today, as we're going through what could be, you know, these conflicts or these difficult encounters or these power struggles and situations, we should be getting in alignment with, you know, what it is we truly want in one way or another. Like, if anything, this day should show us what we do and don't want moving forward. Again, though, it's really important that we are honest with ourselves. Emotional self-analysis is very, very effective right now if we are doing it honestly and if we are not sort of like hiding from our own issues. Again, this is a spiritual battle day. This is a day where we conquer our demons, where we overcome our own darkness, where we stare into the shadows of our own psyche and understand the ripple effect that those shadows have had out into our experience in the world and in our lives, and what we need to do to, again, like release, integrate, heal, alleviate these things so that they are not having that power over us anymore, and we can sort of break ourselves free from any of these toxic cycles or attachments that have been associated and related to them. Remember, we also have a south node right now in the sign of Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto. The south node is all about what we need to release, what we need to move on from, what we need to let go from, what we are graduating from so that we can move in this new direction. The north node in Taurus, it is all about really getting in touch with our authentic potential, tapping into that, cultivating our inner resources, activating our destiny, rising into our higher selves, and, you know, doing this for the purpose of actually being able to show ourselves what we have the power to create and manifest to stabilize our physical world around us when we go through this process. We are learning that we don't need to surrender our power out of any fears of lack, because we have what we need inside of us, and we have had it there the whole time to be able to create a life for ourselves that is comfortable, that is stable, that is safe. And that does not require us to sacrifice our own authenticity or, you know, our own passions or, you know, what we truly love or what we truly desire in order to be sort of externally supported by some type of support system or false matrix that is not coming from within us. We are going through a process right now of transitioning from sort of a more passive consumer lifestyle to a more active creator lifestyle generally. And this might be a very, very slow process. We got a couple thousand years to complete this process, but it's starting now. And these changes that we're going through and what is being exposed to us, what we're breaking free from, what we're breaking away from, what is falling away from, what we're losing now, and the direction, the new direction, and then what we're discovering within us, the new passions that we're finding, and, you know, what we're being called towards now. It's really important that we pay attention to these things because they are trying to move us in this trajectory that is going to help us come to this place of ultimately so much more fulfillment in our experience, because we are going to be living our lives in a way that is truly representative of who we are and what our ultimate purpose is in this incarnation. We're being galactically, divinely recalibrated and realigned right now to reflect our authentic purpose, and as a result of that, the amount of fulfillment that universe is trying to align us with is probably something that, you know, we haven't really experienced before. We have beautiful days to come, you guys, but right now we're just in the breakdown and the realignment process, and this is very, very symbolized through these Pluto and simultaneous Uranus North Node transits that we have going on right now. But back to the emotional self-analysis, this is a very good time for us to really get in touch with that. Encounters with others, also these interactions or these powerful encounters with others going on today could be perhaps like forcing us into this place of emotional self-confrontation, having to confront our own issues, facing our demons, like battling our demons, confronting our underworld, the spiritual warfare underway today. It may not be a pleasant experience, you guys, but it's definitely at the end of the day a useful experience, and there will be growth that results from what is going on in this energy today. Emotional power struggles with others, very likely. And another thing, we need to be careful today of coercion generally, like sort of across the board. We really want to be careful of not using someone else's, you know, fears or guilt or jealousy or anything like that to emotionally manipulate them into doing something that we want. And we also need to be sure that someone else is not using our fears or our guilt or our more negative feelings against us to manipulate us into doing something that they want. This is something that can play out in this energy as well, and we just sort of want to steer clear of anything along those lines. If we feel like we're being manipulated today, we really don't want to buy into it too much. And also, we really want to be sure that we are not acting that out and perpetrating this on someone else as well, because it can just generally create some really negative stuff. And ultimately, like I said, the purpose of the energy today is about repair and regeneration, and we don't want to allow ourselves to be sort of sucked into a victimization loop in this energy. Overall, though, a very intense day of breakdowns and repairs is likely. Themes relating to home, family, power, authority, control, long-standing established orders of power, authority, and control, rules, regulations, governments, leadership, bosses, stuff like that, because we're talking about the sun forming the sun and the sign of Cancer, ruling the home, the family, the mother, the womb, the roots, the origin, the hometown, what happens behind closed doors, stuff like that. And Pluto, of course, in the sign of Capricorn, ruling breakdowns in long-standing established orders of power and control. So these are the main themes that may be coming up today in this energy, exposing things also that may have gone on behind closed doors, the skeletons in the closet, like that type of stuff, abuse, and just all type, like violence, like all types of stuff like that exposed in this energy as well. A great day to address and change root issues within ourselves. That is really the best way that we can use this energy. Serious confrontations and power struggles. We want to watch compulsive and coercive behavior. And again, at the end of the day, like with this Pluto energy, both luminaries, both of shining the light, there's some conflicts that could be created that is really exposing something to us or showing us the deep, dark, ugly truth of a situation could be coming through. We also need to remember that this is not an isolated aspect. This is happening in the context of the north node of the moon ruling fate and destiny and the path ahead and where we're being pulled to at this point in time, the next phase of growth, the lesson plan for future development, and Uranus, the galactic fixer, the great rectifier, shocks, surprises, expect the unexpected, things happening out of the blue, in an alignment also in the sign of Taurus. So there could definitely be some major upsets to stability, to finances, to work situations, to relationships that are also playing into whatever power struggles or interpersonal dynamics or encounters or exposures are coming out in this energy today. So ultimately, sweeping, dynamic, fundamental change, the period of time we are in right now, what we are building into. Also, the sun and the trine to Neptune, though, huge spiritual infusion, very strong psychic energy. Faith, you guys, is what we need to fall back on right now. And things are being divinely realigned. Things are being orchestrated. Everything is going to according to the plan. And this is the energy where we need to surrender our fears to the divine with the faith and trust and belief in our heart that things are happening for us and that, there is no loss in divine mind. If we are losing something, it is because we are gaining something of equal value or something even better is meant for us. And we need to keep that in mind. And we need to not lose hope. And we need to trust that this is a process of realigning things in our lives in such a way that we are going to have a greater ability to live an authentic life with meaning and purpose and like true fulfillment going forward in one way or for one reason or another. That is what this is ultimately leading towards. So that's pretty much what I have to say in terms of the astrology today, you guys. This next couple weeks is likely to get, I can't even begin to predict what it could be because we have Uranus and Mars and the North Node together. Like this is the heights of intensity, combustible dynamic change, and unpredictability with Pluto at the natal return degree of the United States and the sun in opposition forming the square also to the moon today. While we have this North Node Uranus conjunction going on, also Aries, the position of the moon today is ruled by Mars, and Mars is also in the sign of Taurus, moving forward towards this conjunction. There could just be some major things coming to a head today that are making some huge changes, making some huge shifts. So I don't know exactly how it's playing out today, you guys, but we need to not lose faith. Things are moving in the right direction. And even if it doesn't feel like that right now, there's something even better is on its way. So I'm going to stop there in terms of the astrology. That's what I have to say in terms of astrology. Let's get into the tarot for a minute. Tarot time, everybody. Got some cards coming out today in correspondence with the energy, and we got a bunch of cards today, but it's telling a pretty simple story, and I feel like it's definitely representing what we have going on in the astrology today. So the first card that we had coming out of the deck is the Emperor. And obviously, I feel like in this context, this is this is representing sort of like these ruling classes, these long established orders of power. You know, usually I feel like that would also be the Hierophant card, but we're talking about the Emperor, and we're also talking about power, long-standing orders of power and control. And, you know, the Emperor really also usually resonates to the sign of Aries, where the moon is today. So there may be some type of internal self-empowerment that is sort of moving us away from these hierarchies or these power and control structures and dynamics of the past. The next card we had is the Page of Cups, because it's like the offer that they're giving us, like what they're offering us now. It's like we can't take it seriously maybe anymore, or it's just not enough, or we just don't see the value in it. This guy's got a fish in his cup. Like it doesn't really seem serious. Like it doesn't really seem that valuable, maybe what that like establishment or what that authority has to offer us anymore. Maybe in the past we were receiving something from that power and control situation, or from that power dynamic that was valuable to us, or that was benefiting us on an emotional level in some type of way, but it's like it's just not there anymore. Like we're just not feeling that sense of like comfort from whatever this like ruling class or authority or situation that had power over us was giving us before. The next card that we had coming out of the deck is the Queen of Swords. And the way actually that these cards came out when I placed them on the table was like this. And if you see this Queen of Swords, she's actually facing the opposite direction from this Emperor. She is not interested. And the Queen of Swords, this is about the whole truth. This is about cutting through the lies, cutting through the deception, cutting through the like flowery language or any of the frills or any of that to like get to the baseline. Like, what is the truth? What is the core? Like, what is it? Like, what is the clear picture of what is going on? The Queen of Swords very assertively wants to know the facts, like wants to know what is happening, wants clarity in the situation. And so it's like, and she's not really interested in whatever this Emperor is offering, right? And the next card that we had coming out after that was the Sun. So what is the Queen of Swords looking for? She's looking at the light, okay? She's not looking back at this rulership or this power system or power structure from the past and the small offers of support or emotional support that it may have been providing. She is holding her sword high into the heavens, and she is looking into the light. She is looking at rebirth. She is looking at a fresh start. She's looking at a new day, and this like passionate, inspired fire sun energy. We also have Mercury right now in the sign of Leo, like I said, and we're moving towards a new moon in Leo that is going to be pretty revolutionary as well. But yeah, she's definitely looking towards the light. And today is a day, right, where we have this battle going on between the old and the new, the like matrix of the past and what is coming in, the darkness and the light, the previous paradigm and the new paradigm that we are emerging into now. And she's looking at the Sun. And then the card that came out after that, you guys, was the Tower. So this is telling me that like in her pursuit of truth, in her pursuit of light, she like we're willing to sort of shake some foundations. Like we're willing to sort of have to go through some massive change. The Tower card always reminds me of Uranus. A lot of people also associate it with Scorpio. So any way you want to look at it, South Node in Scorpio right now, Uranus conjunct the North Node, it is bringing us to a major Tower moment where the paradigm of the past is perhaps collapsing in maybe like an unexpected, a shocking, or a little bit of a just jarring way. but it is because the light and the truth is shining through and breaking the foundations of things that were built on that which is not in alignment with that light and with that truth. And then, you guys, the good, wonderful news, the last card that came out was the Four of Swords. And this is a card about resting peacefully after some type of successful battle, after some type of successful mission, or, some type of perilous journey, or some type of, risk that we took, but we have made it back and we are resting peacefully in the understanding that we have avoided disaster or avoided danger or avoided demise in one way or another. We are at a place of peace and resolution and being able to be in a sense of inner comfort after facing some perhaps very difficult challenges. And then on the back of the deck, we had the Seven of Wands, which is talking about the need to keep moving forward, keep pushing forward, keeping our eye on the prize, not allowing setbacks to throw us off course. And so ultimately, when I'm reading these cards all together, I feel again, if we start at the beginning, I feel it's talking about, these two things that are going on. It's the Queen of Swords right here in the middle. It's we have a choice either to accept an offer that is not fulfilling and that has no real substance to it from these past places or people or situations in power, or we can sort of turn our back to that, raise our sword of truth, cut through the illusion or where we've been surrendering our power before, because we're seeking out the light, we're seeking out the truth, and we're seeking out this rebirth, this fresh start experience, which might put us in a bit of shaky ground, create a situation where our foundation is really shifting, and it might be a little bit scary, but ultimately it is going to be leading us to a place of safety, to a place of inner peace, and it is whatever tower moment is coming up, we are resting easy afterwards, actually. And just knowing that we are still moving forward. Whatever is happening is not preventing us from the forward progress we need to make. There is going to be a pause to breathe coming up here soon after sort of the dust has settled a little bit, and we are going to be continuing on towards our forward progress. And then actually the card that we had under that is the Six of Cups, and I feel this is talking about in a way that is truly aligning us with that authentic original purpose and what can bring us a true sense of fulfillment that really meets our needs on every level and even satisfies our inner child and brings us into alignment with that which can truly feed our heart and soul. So that is what I have to say in terms of the tarot cards that came out, you guys, today in correspondence to the astrology. Really very much I feel talking about the same things and the same themes, breakdowns in these power structures of the past, so that we can come back into the light of our own truth and re-embrace our authentic purpose and activate our destiny and go in this new direction that allows us to really shine in all of our brilliance and all of our glory as we are fulfilling the purpose through which we came here to do, and receiving the fulfillment and the internal satisfaction in alignment with that really gives our lives a whole new layer of meaning and purpose and overall I don't know, fulfillment, So let's draw one more card. Let's pick a synchronicity card for us now. See what last bit of wisdom advice God has for us as we are going through. Yeah, today, you guys, really is one of those days that it could be a more difficult one. T-square with Pluto. Here we have a card coming out. It says, rest, relax, and believe. And that is reminding me also of that Four of Swords card, because again, this is about sort of taking a pause, resting, relaxing, and breathing, finding some inner peace after what may have been a harsh battle or a perilous journey or something like that. It says, he feedeth among the lilies until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. Song of Solomon 2:16 through 17. Take refuge among the lilies of God in heaven and dwell upon the concepts of joy, harmony, peace, beauty, and divine law and order. All your plans, journeys, and undertakings will prosper. Continue in this abiding trust and faith in God until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. And again, this is specifically referencing the day breaks and the shadows flee away, as we are also talking about this day where we have light juxtaposed to dark, both luminaries in harsh aspect to the Lord of the underworld, the battle between light and dark that is playing out internally and in the world, a macrocosm, world stage, world around us. And this is saying, continue in this abiding trust and faith in God until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. And even the Queen of Swords was facing the sun and slicing through the darkness in order to stand in the light of that truth. So that is what we have going on today, playing out on the spiritual planes, you guys. That is what I have to report from the stars. That is what I have to report from the cards. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can help you in your experience today as we are going through this energy. Don't lose hope. Don't lose faith, you guys. We are getting there. We are going to make it. Today is just another one of those days that it is really maybe putting us up against some things within ourselves that we need to conquer so that we can really see the truth of our own power and be free as a result of that to move forward in alignment with our authentic truth going forward. So that's what I have to say, you guys. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think that they would be interested and like this too. Leave me comments, you guys. I love your comments. I appreciate each and every one of you so, so much. Thank you for being here. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social medias in my description box below if you're interested in any of that. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We'll have a lot more astrology to talk about as we are in this very significant energetic time right now, moving towards this big conjunction that is coming up at the end of the month, Mars-Uranus North Node. Wow. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. Until then, bye, guys.